You see, the American society is basically schizophrenic, and the psychiatrist doesn't know the world insane or crazy. But in this case, I would argue we could make some exception, shall we? Because there is 400 million Americans, individualists, question mark. And these people got one happiness, one goal, one definition of being happy. There's one big billboard in every major American towns and villages, wherever. There is one guy and everybody telling for all people, there is this collective hallucination, conscious archetype of success. Make $1 million or make as much money as possible, being successful, impress people who I don't like or even hate with things I don't need, and keep repeating it and keep put this carrot on the stick and going after it. And if it doesn't work, we put bigger carrot and bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, you don't feel happy? You make 1 million? Oh, you feel happy when you make 10 million? No. After all, you find out there is something missing because it's all illusion. You see? You find out that the money, your ego, or success is just a little sticker. It's a sugar pill, which is put to your drink every day like a placebo to make you feel better eventually. And if you don't feel better, the vicious cycle and the disease, think what is disease, the word dis-ease. Somebody put you at not ease. They don't want you to be at ease. If you're not at ease, you have to spend a lot of money. You have to spend $620 billion. $20 billion antidepressant market. $250 billion global fitness industry. $50 million self-improvement market. Like stop procrastinating, coaches, apps. $300 billion spiritual and alternative wellness market, coaches, retreats, kundalini, whatever. Together, $620 billion. It's a vicious cycle. Your ego controls 2-3% of the reality. And through this analytical ego deception, very sophisticated mechanism, you're spending a lot of money on the things you don't need and they don't work. Imagine your mind like a existency, like a cruise. Like this big boat, big floating towns, cruises. Maybe you'll be lucky to be in one of them. To imagine you on the first deck and you drinking, sipping cocktails, talking to people, looking at the, birds flying around, interacting with other passengers. This is your alpha state, this is your beta state, conscious, analytical ego mind, where you say, oh, I am this and I am that. My name is John Smith, I'm a CEO, and I'm taking the cruise with my wife. And you're smiling politely, everybody, drinking, consuming a lot of drugs and alcohol because you have so many masks and maybe you cannot take it. You want to get at ease because you're diseased. Then you go to the quarters, to the luxury, one layer beneath, you go to these cayuts, to these cabins, where you talk to your wife or your wife talk to the husband says, oh my God, this lady, she was crazy or whatever. But we will not tell her, we put this mask, next time, of course, you don't tell somebody that he has a terrible dress or he's a terrible person. And you you think you get really at ease and you remove this mask in the second layer, in this quarter, in this cabin. And then you go sleep. And then you go on the first deck. And again, you start to play this game and you put this mask. The problem starting in moment when you put this mask and you forget this is just a mask and it's become part of you. And it's become like an iron mask, which is jailing you, which is not putting you again at ease, which disease you. A lot of people think there is a first deck and then these cayuts, the quarters, the luxury cabins, where time to time you're a little bit allowed to remove the mask and feel a little bit at ease. But let's face it, a lot of people get brain down because they spending so much enormous energy to pretend to being somebody else on the first deck. That's why the depression is that you exhausted, because you're suppressing something, your shadow personality, who you really are, become who you really are. You're suppressing it. That's why you exhausted to pretending being somebody else. So if you're in the second layer, in these quarters, in these luxury cabins, you think that's it. No, there is one more layer. That's a subconscious mind. That's the cabins and the accommodation for the crew members, for the cocktail waitresses, massage therapists, for bartenders, casino hosts, or all these members who working on the cruise. The cruise has 100, maybe 1,000 employees. That's your subconscious mind. They beneath you. Then, beneath your subconscious mind, there is the engine room, where are all these big clocks of this boat moving, all these mechanisms, this engine. And time to time, there are a couple of technicians in the engine room who put in oil, watching if the engine working. That's the fourth layer. That's your no conscious mind, even beneath your subconscious. And then, beneath the surface, beneath the bottom of the boat, there is a collective, unconscious, collective unconsciousness. There is this, all these archetypes. There is this big, deep, unknown mass of water and the sea. And beneath the sea, there is the real bottom of the earth, And you live all your life in the deception that you're on the first deck and in this luxury cabin. But you don't know that's how you behave on the first deck is connected to how you behave in the cabin, in the quarters. And that's how you behave in the quarters, in the cabin, in the private life, is how you behave, or how somebody, your memory, or the people who behind making you upset, your servants on this boat, and then it goes to the engine room, and like that, like the matryoshka, you see, it's like, you see? But all this industry treating the problem on the first deck. On the first deck, they give you antidepressants which don't work. That's why they're introducing another kind of supposedly working psychedelic-based, non-dissociative LSD, AK, and psilocybin antidepressants, which will, try guess, miraculously work, because the normal antidepressants, the classic one, didn't work. Oh yeah, sure. They give you on the first deck these sugar pills. They give you spiritual things, this, but they treating you only on the first deck. They never go treat you subconsciously or in the engine room. In engine room, that's where is your noradrenaline, adrenaline, cortisol, you see? There's all this mechanism, pineal gland, parasympathetic nerves, amygdala, all this chemistry, the things, oxytocin, dopamine, all these things in the engine room are moving, and they bubbling up, it's the opposite of the trickling down. It's like, it's, it's floating, or it's coming from your subconscious and non-conscious mind up. And then on the top, on the deck, you think you act like you act because you on the first deck, or you smart because you're in the coyote and you tell your wife, I'm smart. I know that this lady think, she's, but I know this. But this lady, or the person you criticize, is in the quarter, in the luxury cabin, and saying same thing about you. And try guess. It's not you who is right. It's not her who is right. It's not who you wrong. It's not her who is wrong. The answer is none of you is wrong or right. There is no wrong or right. There is no true or the lies. You see? There is just the existence of your subconscious mind, which working according to different kind of subconscious emotional intelligence patterns, which reflects and talk to you through dreams. through flashbacks, the feelings, you see, which you cannot analyze. But this industry feeding you can do this. They're feeding you through the ego. So you feel depressed. Again, what is depression? Depressed. When you don't know, you just ask. Disease, disease. Disease is a French word from 14th century. It means opposite of the comfort. Then this, something, stop you to be at the ease. Depression, before it was in the physics, in economy, right? Depressed. In 18th, 19th century, we find this vocabulary in the psychiatrist and in a medical sector, in medical circles, and it's defined something like your spirit is cut off, depressed. I would say depression is you have no energy, you depressed, you suppressed, you suppressing who you really are. You never knew who you are. You never had a chance. You got hypnotized since you were a kid. You were 2, 3 years old. Your brain was in the delta and theta waves around 2, 3 hertz, 4, 5. Then you were in alpha when you were 6, 7, 8. You were hypnotized. Then by 12, 13, 14, as teenager, you become in beta, you become conscious. But all the time you've been hypnotized and they were filled the programs in your mind through TV, teachers. You believe all of them. Did you believe your president? Did you believe your mother, your priest, your teacher, your politician, your senator? Did you believe your psychiatrist? Did you believe the scientists on Instagram? Did you believe your spiritual coach? Random guy on the internet or on some dating site? Did you believe some dating site work? You already know who you are. You just have to remember it. Each one of you has its own engine room, and imagine it like a Titanic. Eventually, the Titanic shipwrecked, right? Because there was some problem in the engine room. But imagine you would even know what is beneath the level of the boat, and you can navigate the streams or the whales or some ice peaks. It's like an ice peak, you see. It's like a glacier. Sorry, ice peak is the thing from Basic Instinct, right? Great film playing with these things. In popular culture, we can find a lot of motifs. So imagine you have a giant ice peak and you look at the glacier, and that's the top. The 5% of the glacier is on the top of the surface of the water, where you can see it from the first deck. You see the top of the ice of the glacier from the first deck, and bottom there is this glacier which will hit the bottom of the boat and make the Titanic sink. What if you could go? But you could trace the glacier and the piece of ice on the top, on the bottom, beneath it, on the sea. So your boat will never shipwreck like a Titanic. What if the solution is not in the engine room? What if it's in the collective, bank of these archetypes, of this deep collective subconscious mind? Carl Gustav Jung called it the collective archetypes. What if there are symbols, patterns, which works according some, system, and they all boiling up through all these levels. And on the top, you think how smart you are, who you are. My name is Bob, I'm CEO. My name is Jane Smith, I'm a chief strategist mortgage. I'm great, and I deserve better, and I got the package. And now, in age of 45, I'm ready to have a relationship. And everybody who refused is bad person and doesn't deserve me. That's a program which you playing to yourself. You just tantrum little kid who doesn't like it, who hates herself, despises herself. But it's not your fault, I wanna tell you. That's the society which created. That's The hypnotic programs, all these things. And we all meeting on this dating site. And we playing, interacting with these masks on first level of the deck. I am a millionaire, I'm a rich, successful person. We all on the first deck, and we saying to each other how we playing this theater. And when we remove these phones, we in the luxury cabins, and we saying, oh my god, this person is terrible, I will text him something. Right? And then you think that's it, how smart you are. You manipulate the other people, you find what you want, what you get, you pretend. But what if you're not the character in the movie and you realize you the viewer in the theater sitting, watching the movie, and you the character in the film, you never realize that you in some film, in some story. What if you step back from the screen and you look at your life like an observant? But there is some subconscious mind which is connected to an engine room, no conscious one. And then beneath there is a collective one. And that's where boiling all these hormones, chemical things, and all these psychiatrists, psychopharmacists, coaches, mystics, crooks, whoever people trying to sell you the solution, which you already know. You already know who you are. Become who you are. The solution is not rational, it's emotional. You see? You listen this sentence which I'm telling you. Become who you are. And you're saying, oh, is this genius? Oh, this is genius. Become who I am. Now, I want you not to think about this, analyze it with your analytical mind. I want you to feel who you are. I want you to follow your feelings, and you pretty guard it to feel it, because the society or something taught you not to analyze your feelings or look into it. That's where comes the psychiatrist who spend $100,000 over a life, because the real psychiatrist or great therapist is not somebody who studied at Harvard psychology. It's somebody who is a gifted person. The real artist, there is no difference between artist and and therapist. The real therapist see the problem of the person right away, and when they open the door, you walk in here, you see, I see your problem right away. I know who you are, and I want to tell you, become who you are, and your problem is resolved. I take this mirror and I show it to you right away. But if I show it to you, if the therapist show it to you right away, you look at the mirror, you take a stone, you smash it, you say, I hate it. That's not me. You're telling me I should fire myself. I'm a mortgage chief strategist. My name is James, and people value me. I have 2 cars. I will have a Lamborghini. I'm Bob. I'm CEO. You're telling me I should fire myself? Walk away from my $20,000 job per per week or month or whatever, and to become a poet? You delusional doctor, you crazy. You would the patient would slam the door and run away. That's why the psychiatrist take the mirror and slowly, every 2 days for $500, show you the reflection of what you already know, who you are and what you need, and what put you in the ease and what put you in the disease. You see? You know who you are. You know who you become. You know there is no past. The past doesn't exist. Show me the past. Doesn't exist. It's not material. It's not in material world. It doesn't exist. The past cannot hurt me. It doesn't exist. You just, torturing yourself with the past, and you get capitalized. You see? That's all. What is it based? This dating site is based on this. Did you put some information about yourself? Smarter people don't believe what they put about themselves. The one who are not stupid but sick. It's not your fault. You're sick. You're not at ease. You put this mask and you believe your profile, your mask. You believe it, that what you write there is true. And you got stuck up with this iron mask. And then you're angry when the people say, I don't believe what you are. I don't see it because I see the reality. You see? So, again, I repeat, become who you really are. If you're in the position of true yourself, the truth set you free. If you tell yourself the secret to be happy, everybody got a secret to be happy. And everybody looking for it. That is the carrot on the stick, which you following, which is capitalized, is within you, is now. What if I told you you can become happy now? I'm much more happier than in 10 years. Because the future is unpredictable and it's just in your head, just like the past doesn't exist. You cannot jump in some DeLorean like back in the future and fly yesterday. Show me the past, it doesn't exist. If you decode the reality, you realize the past doesn't exist. It cannot hurt you. If you're making some mistake in the life, you're most probably operating from the echo of the past, which is like a vicious movie cycles loop in your brain. And you believe the past leads to the future. There is no future, there is no past, there is now. And if you decode this, and you find out the secret of your happiness to become what you are, what pleases you, and what doesn't make you feel good, and you restrain to doing things you do, you not deviate yourself from who you are as much as you deviating yourself. That's what this society is built on. As much bigger mask you put on yourself, as much you trapped. And then you put another mask, another. But the thing is, you should not go forward. You should not go back. You should stay still now. Right now. You become who you are. You find the secret of happiness. My secret to being happy is different than yours. I cannot tell it to you. There is no 400 million people who have same happiness. It's impossible. It cannot be to make money, be successful, do all these things in some different forms, It's like 10 kind of socks. Like you have a white socks, you CEO, you have a blue one, this. To be successful, to be on the top of the Maslow pyramid, self-actualization, I would agree with you, because the bottom of the pyramid of the Maslow is the if you know it, is the top. No, it can't be possible. You know this. You know this. That the money is just Chinese papers with pictures on it, so we don't kill each other. It's just a code. It's electrical things. It's something. If I now have in my mind $1 million, I'm happy. If I don't have it, I'm sad. But do I really have it? No. Maybe I have. But if I don't, it makes me happy anyway. If you convince yourself you got something, you really got it. You see? It's deception. First, there is a matter. No, there is information, then there is a matter. If you have information, you create the whole structure. But you got it all wrong. You got it upside down. You think you got $1 million to get liberated yourself. You see? But you cannot get that. That's why you never get liberated. And you're taking this carrot thing and you're working your ass off and you're spending and you're working, going to gym, become this, whatever we're telling you. But fundamentally, you can never get there. You're on the wrong platform and the train which you're catching never come. There is another train, you never jump on it. It's in your mind, it's in your soul, it's inside. It's running every single second. Now you can jump in it. You can get awakened to jump in your train inside. And then everything will follow. You see? And then you see that everything will unfold backwards. It's a projection, holographical thing. That's why we sandwich the now between future and present. Show me the now. Show me the now. What is now? At 3 a.m. Central European time, there were people walking on the street with the blackboard saying 1 minute to be to presence, to 1 minute left, the presence, the past will evolve or transform in what we call presence. And then in future, what is past? 25 minutes back, when I start this video, 5 minutes back, the past doesn't exist. Show me the marker, show me the point when the past becoming a presence. There is no past. There is individual, deceptive, eco, and personal bullshit record story which you playing in your brain, and other the mechanism of the digital capitalism, recognize it and whispering in your ears that you can change the past or navigate through the future. But they never ever tell you what they should tell you in the schools, to look at yourself, to become who you really are. If you become who you are, then you find things which harms you. Then you find things which rewards you, and you decode the secret being happy. It doesn't matter how you get the secret. The most important, you got it. You agree with me that it really doesn't matter if you get if you dress happiness like $1 million or success. It won't matter if they give you. I know you trying to tell me I have to work hard to deserve it. No, it's a lie. It's hypocrisy. If somebody give you in the suitcase $1 million, the anxiety and everything, the dopamine, serotonin will rocket through the roof, and all this alerted cortisol and things will go down. You see, but what if it's not about the money or the success? What if it's all bullshit story you're telling yourself? What if the secret, and it doesn't matter how you, again, I am repeat, how you resolve this secret. If you get $1 million, you got it, period. Doesn't matter if you steal it, you earn it. Doesn't matter how you become happy. If you steal it, you earn it. You find out the happiness through chemical pill, through some ritual in the jungle, or meditative things, or you trick yourself to be happy, and then you're really happy. It really doesn't matter how you decode the secret to be happy. The most important, you got it. Once you got it, you got an imminent, incredible source of energy. The secret source of your energy in engine room, beneath even engine room, in this non-conscious, in this collective pattern. You see? But the secret to be happy is not something which TV, media, or can tell you. You have to tell it to yourself. You have to remember what is the secret solution to the problem. And when the problem clicks with the solution, some inner shift, something moved in deep, so much deep beneath your non-conscious mind, from that you feel it from the first deck, the down somewhere on the bottom of sea, something internally, not externally, shifted. And when you master internal world, if you master X, you can do anything. Then you become your own God. And you, as the Jim Morrison says, I'm the Lizard King. I can do anything. You just become who you are. You see? You have to remember, before the society, your parents, the teachers, you have to remember who you really are. You have to have courage to acknowledge that you have to remember who you are, because if you looping in this amnesia, you will never get there. You see? Or you can talk to people who knows who they are, how they get there. You can recognize time to time some people, and you are like, that's the success. That's the successful people. That's the happy people. They wake up with a smile on their face. They have no money. They have nothing. They're just walking down the street. They got the secret. They're happy. They're winners all the time. With the broken bank accounts, they're millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, quadrillions, septillions by their soul, the heart. They decoded the reality. They decoded the world, which is nothing else than echo of the life, which is perceptive. You see? Some people call them mystics, right? Some people call them psychics. Some of them, they put the neckties and they become psychiatrists or CEOs in Silicon Valley. You see? Some use the energy to slave people. Because if you know what I know, you know there is no difference between destruction, and creating something. And there is an incredible source of the tremendous energy, like a dwarf, a small star blowing up, you know. If you know how to control the source of the atom, you can build a great powerful power plants, or you can throw the bomb like in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But the source is the incredible energy. It depends how you direct it, what you're gonna do with it. You see, money is just Chinese papers with pictures on it. It's just the result of that things, you see. If you're chasing the money and you're going after money, you never get it. You never get there, you see. That's why this page is so full of so many cute but very mentally limited sugar babies or women who believe that they ask the money, they get it. You know, the best or the most, you know, fastest way how you become broke and poor is to beg money from somebody. You see? If you're begging money from, from the rich man on the side, they will never give it to you. Because the rich man don't want these sugar babies. They want escorts. You see? So they will date you, they will sleep with you for a while, but they never marry you, they never give you a house, they never give you a yacht, they never make you part of your life. Because you want it, they will never give it to you. Because you're asking for it. You become who you are. You are just like the ring they put. And then they wanna remove you. And second day they wanna put another ring. They throw you away. You creating the poverty yourself by begging the money. You see? Then there is opposite extreme, There are women getting, in their 40s, 50s, and they finally ready to get married and have a family, and they have full package. And if they don't get it, there is something wrong with everything around, just not with them inside, internally. And they keep vicious cycling until they die alone. Delusional. You see? Yeah, that's the reality. To be fair, I'm not a woman, you know. Maybe I was in the previous life. Maybe my left right hemisphere is compatible with my feminine masculine part. But to be fair, I'm sure there are a lot of men who feel like a macho talking to a lot of women, feeling the feeling that they have 5 women on every. But I would argue they're not macho. The real macho is not on online application. I travel 57 countries or 67, or I don't know, 50, 60, 70 plus. I stopped counting over 40, 50 countries. I was, almost in all South American countries. I seen the macho man. The macho man is the guy with the pistol or maybe with the machine gun and with the super light in some South American town with bag of powder and a lot of money, and he's not on the side. The real macho man is maybe there to have a fun or to be curious, but you don't find the real man online, or very exceptionally. You might find somebody who knows these people, but you certainly don't find the real macho. So the men who are macho are just the online kids. You see, they cry boys. That's who they are. And they feeding self-validating. And then there are women who find out that they self-validating feeding the ego and they angry with them because they self-validating themselves as well. And both groups are self-validating. Both groups put between the ego and who they really are the mirrors. The mirrors is this dating site which reflecting, which blocking, and everybody looking and talking to his mirror. He's getting angry on the mirror. He's shouting at the mirror, and the mirror is echoing back. You take a stone, you throw it against the mirror. You cannot change the mirror to talk to you nicely unless you don't change who you are, who you become. And then the mirror talk to you like you want to talk. You attract what you are. You creating the reality. You see? You passive participant of the game of the active. The passive are capitalized by the active ones. The active capitalize the passive ones. But your ego telling you the active participant of the game, but subconsciously, non-consciously, you actually another passive participant of the game. And most probably, you're a little bit smarter than the passive one, but maybe you even more stupider and you deeply more passive one because you don't know like the real passive one, they know passive one. Some sugar baby here, she's after all honest, or some online macho man who trying to attract the ladies and flash how great he is or whatever. At least they know they in the second layer of the coyote and they know they putting the mask on the first day. But then there are people who really don't know they passive participant of the game. The real hell you can create in your mind is the biggest hell ever. It's not after you die or whatever you become poor. The most thing you worry about never happens. That's why you make them happen right away. Sabotage yourself before they really did happen. You self-torturing yourself, if you understand me, if you will. And that's the basically the whole game here. You see? The whole game is called confidence. You see? They make a lot of analysis if exists sociopath or psychopath. There is no sociopath. That's nonsense. There is only psychopath who got a problem with the amygdala. You know, and every psychopath tells you psychopath is a very powerful person. It's a Donald Trump. It was Khomeini, it's a Putin. I would say Putin is smart sociopath. Trump is dumb psychopath. But, you know, I'm playing with the world. I think Putin is psychopath as well. But he is strong because he can control. So every psychopath tells you that he's cool as fuck. Imagine that you have this power that you don't give a single fuck about anything, about anybody. You have this eminent, incredible source of energy. And you cool no matter what. But besides that, you have a feelings and you're a psychopath and you're enjoying the life. You decode the reality, you decode the world. Nothing can make you upset. Or something make you upset, but it's part of it. And the upset, you realize the dualistic of thing. You look at the feelings, and the feeling, the depression is like a wall, one side of the wall. And the pleasure, the ecstasy is another side of the wall. But a lot of people don't know you can walk around the wall or you can climb on it and you can look left and right. I'm happy, unhappy, depressed. ecstasy, sad, happy, satisfied, dissatisfied. It's a social mental construct, the feeling. It's a chemistry in your brain coming from an engine room. You can withdraw observant yourself, or some people call it awaken. You can look through the game. You can see that your life is a vicious cycle of the mirrors, fata morgana, chimeras. The dream is not even nightmare, it's chimera. Every dream dies in the moment when you make it through. The USA is nothing else than incredible, painful, full of fear and anxiety, little tantruming, dying, paralyzed, petrified by his own death and mortality kid is a nightmare. USA is a nightmare. It got awakened from the dream, which happened to be true in moment it dies, in moment when it becomes true. And then you realize that beyond the nightmare, there is a level of chimera, that it really doesn't exist, it's just illusion. And you recreating this nightmare in your brain every single day you wake up, in myriads of millions of septillions of simulations. Every day you wake up, you're torturing yourself with other people torturing themselves in this big society of all insane people. There is so much pain, you see. There is so much suffering. But they forgot to tell you, you created this suffering. You have this button in you, and you can just press it. If you know where to find it, beneath the bottom of the Titanic, before your boat on the, if you can reach down, you can switch all that crap. You can sit here, cool as a fuck. Don't give a single fuck. If you fucking millionaire, crypto millionaire, whatever millionaire, if you meet somebody, maybe you find out you don't need nobody. Maybe you find out people needs you. Maybe you find out the liberty. Maybe you get happy, strong, invincible, undestroyable. You become a god, your own god. You don't need nobody, no one. You find out there is no morality. We live in the hell, so be it. You think this is a hell? Nah. You think there is a hell after you die, you do some bad things, whatever? Be who you wanna be. Be a queer. Be a crazy man. Be a poet. Become who you are. Just avoid your own hell. Don't suffer. It brings you nothing. There is no morality. Middle class morality. There is a slave morality, as the Nietzsche call it. That's what the USA is trapped. It's trapped in the middle age, middle class morality of slaves who think, I will not fire myself from the job and I will don't do this because I am better and I can do this. I am not. The Americans are a hostage. They blame game to work their asses off, not to never be happy. You see? And as much as they unhappier, as much they telling the story about the naked dress, emperor story, like emperor walking down to the palace and he's naked and everybody see, do you see it? Do you see the dress? You don't see it, you are an idiot. It's a beautiful dress. An emperor believe it's beautiful. That's why you find this guy in the art, I forgot his name, who bought this banana with the sticker, you know, attached to the wall for $6 million. That's the art. You can sell somebody fucking bananas with the sticker to the wall and he pays you $6 million if you know the secret to be yourself happy. That's the code, or the level of consciousness, as they call it, the higher one on these stupid YouTube videos, from the billionaires, where the billionaires operating from, or millionaires. That's the mentality of the Epstein, who was just nobody. But he knew everybody is nobody. He became illusion of somebody, and he sold this illusion of somebody to all these nobody people. That's why he hypnotize everybody. You see, he can turn it on like a Marilyn Monroe. When she was walking down the street, says, "I'll turn it on now. I become Marilyn." And everybody jumping on. That's the secret light. That's the secret source of your star, of the energy which you got inside. Everybody got it. You just don't know how to turn it on. Everybody got this inner switch. You can turn it on as a secret. The life is secret. The world is secret, full of masks. And as much you think you understand it, most probably you don't understand it at all. But you pretend you do. But you gotta ask yourself, do you kill the anxiety by pretending something? It's just a temporary fix. It's a temporary fix, self-medicating yourself on the gym, eating fish oil capsules, spiritual coach, bullshit, antidepressant, working hard to impress people. It's all construction, it's mental social construct, it's bullshit. It's nonsense. It's a deception. It's an anarchy which is dressed as the order. It's a nightmare dressed as dream. It's a chimera. You see? You can live on the expensive interest and then think that you control the game. And then comes the things in the life, like people get these tragedies. Like, oh my God, how this happened? My daughter gets sick, I got a cancer. Oh my God, how comes the fact that something came in my teeth, I lost my teeth, or I become depressed, I become a disease. It didn't came out like one day you woken up, you disease, or there is a accident or something terrible happened with your life. You had it coming whole your life because you were suppressing who you are. You spend so much energy, and you're spending so much energy to become somebody else, to acting, to performing, that you inside exhausted. You tremendously exhausted to playing this vicious cycle mask game theater. For who you playing it? For yourself. If you know this, you can stop playing. You can stop acting. You can win the game in a moment when you realize you cannot win it at all. You can only draw. And then it's a paradox, because our language is here 100,000 years, and everything what I say that connotate is not a denotate. Everything is paradox. The language is paradox. We lying ourselves in moment when we say it, when we think about this. You see, it's not possible to give you this knowledge by the language. That's why there are shaman and mystics who can give it to you by touch. Literally, they give it, they incept it in your mind, you see. But you win the game in the moment when you're losing it. When you realize you're losing it, or you cannot win it, and then you even not draw, then you really win it by not playing it at all. But it doesn't mean being a vagus and walking down the street and being homeless and doing nothing. It's become being an observant of the game. Withdraw. You withdraw yourself from the game, but you keep this autopilot playing it. You depersonalize yourself from the figure, from the character who you are. And then you self-manipulating yourself, you attach the strings on back. And then suddenly you see the things clicking. The people calling you. The money coming, floating your way. This is this primitive Wu Wei or Qi. I don't want to bother you with the Buddhism or all these things, but you can find any kind of terminology, and you can talk philosophically, psychologically. You can talk about this from the viewpoint of the art. You can talk about quantum mechanics. We can talk that there was a leap, there was a split of the local reality and superposition of the collapsing particles, which collapsing, in possibilities. They waiting. We're just waiting now in the superposition to collapse in some reality. You see, there is no future or past. There is a block of the space, and all these numbers are here. All these miracles. You know what's gonna happen tomorrow if the stock of the silver go up or down. What people do. Everything is social, economical structure. Everything is one big butter. It's a trillion, septobillions of butterfly effects, social effects, butterfly effects, any kind of effects, which are together, and everything is moving. You see, everything is torturing your mind. You can find sometimes the answers at the linguistic diavoli. The what does it mean? The Latin word diavoli, the devil. It means to divide, to move around, not being in still position, not being in calm, you know, be possessed, being angry, moving. If I'm in the past, I want to be in the future. If I'm in the future, I want to be in the past. To realizing that there is no past. You see, to be possessed, how you define the happiness, the secret to be happy? That's what these monks were able to achieve after 40 years studying Buddhism. It's stillness, it's calmness. It's not give a single fuck again. You don't give a single fuck. You don't give a shit. You relax. You see? That's the opposite of the evil. That's the opposite of the devil. You see? The only thing is how you right now become healed. Sounds like a miracle or nonsense to you. But you can let go right now. And you can start to win the game from now. To become who you are. To act honestly who you are. To let the truth to set you free. To play the mask and the theater and have the mask and not have it in the same time, if you understand. That's the moment when you realize you can restart it any time, the game. You like, the cosmos is eternal. There is a unconsciousness, there is this energy which is eternal, you see? So if something is eternal, there is no beginning and end. You can start every day again and again and again. You can die 10 times and be born every minute, every day. If you understand this, you wake up and you can become a billionaire if it makes you feel happy. I can tell you the secret how to do this. It's easy, It's easy. But it won't make you happy. That's the trick. But to make money, it's easy. There's nothing simple than to let the gravitate the money come into your direction. Because the money is not what you think. The money is not a Chinese papers with pictures on it. Money is information and energy. If you know how to play the energy, if you know how to make things collide in superposition to happen and realize and manifest, not in the way like in the YouTube people say manifesting, I manifest something coming. No, it doesn't work, But if you know what to do, so some people say to some other people, to tell some other people, to give you some power, some energy, think it over. You really don't need $1 million to go to buy some private island. If you buy maybe 50 meters square for $1 million, you need $100 million to get an island. But you don't need a couple of hundred millions to buy your own jet. You just need to get on the jet, to know people who put you on the jet, to tell them the code, to give them the order. Everything is hypnosis, order, order, order. You can tell people things which they want to hear, to do things which puts the domino effect of the events leading on the end to the money which manifests really appear on your account. Even better, you skip the transaction process to getting some money, just like the ego. You want this pen, and you think you can get it through the $10 you put on the table, and in a moment when you put the $10 on the table, you exchange it from the seller, the pen. How about you just get the pen without paying for it? You see? How about you make the pen coming to you? Yeah? And I'm not talking about the Belfort bullshits like he says, do you really need this pen? Of course, it was example. It can be anything. You see? You can get things without paying for them. Without think it over. The money is just a commodity. It's information. Dressed as gold, silver, stocks, diamonds, euro, dollars, whatever Chinese paper you want to call it, coins. The money is energy, is information. It's a set of movements of things. You see? If you make this domino happen, on the end, pop out like a magic the things which you want. But you have to deconstruct things. You have to reverse it, everything. It's not like that you can work hard like an idiot, which you most probably a lot of people is not your fault, but a lot of people think that the money is based on the hard work. Of course it's not. It's based on the information. It's based on the secret of how the things in the world works. It's an alchemical thing, using some oldish English word. Or it's simply the normal science of the things. It's something which is called philosophy, right? Before the philosophy was part of the physics way back, then we were so stupid we divided it, We saw that philosophy is just talking about nonsenses. I'm talking about practical philosophy. It's some process, you see? The process of the things. Because have you asked yourself question how some people can become really billionaire if you insist? We on the millionaire dating side. You don't wake up one day, you become billionaire. And it's not like you work 15 hours per day, 50 years, too much. No. There is a shortcut. They telling you the shortcut doesn't exist. There is one train, you on the train, and they all telling you on this train, waving at you, you on another train, and the trains never get together. They leaving from different platforms in same time, you know, and they just, speedy, they in same speed, and they telling you the people on the train, hey, work hard, do this. One day, eventually, if you do this, in future, the both trail gets connected, and you change the train. No, it's not like that. You see, that's a deception. There are they telling you there are no shortcuts, but yet they making money by shortcuts. They telling you to enforce the rules, yet they breaking all the rules. And there is only one rule at all, no rules at all. You born into it, you married into it, but you never get married into it, let's face it. The multimillionaires never married the trash from the street without being rude or plebs. That's why they create the dating sites where they keep hanging the sugar babies to paying for it, to have an illusion to be on the train. We think once I pay more, I jump on the other train. It's a great illusion. They capitalize you. You born into it, you married into it, or you can jump from your train on the roof to the other train. You have to jump through the program called fear, that you will die while you're jumping. There's several layers of the society. There are emperor kings, there's nowadays billionaires, royal court members, nowadays politicians, church, which telling you aesthetic paradigm, what to do, how to dress, what to do 15th century. Now it's TV, that's the church. There is a judicial system, there's another caste, lawyers, powerful people in the prosecutors, Then there is a cast of soldiers and policemen and security services, all since the whole history is here in any level or any timeline of the history. And then there is something what's called subjects. There's a 95% of people, 99%. The best subjects are some CEOs with a couple of 100,000 or 1 million, 2 million per year. But they're still subjects. You see? And there is one more group which they don't want you to know. There are bandits, pirates, motherfuckers. There is a Robin Hood who can jump from one train to another. You take it by violence. And I don't mean the physical one, of course. I'm talking about psychological warfare. You cannot beat them, you join them. I am the Robin Hood. I am who I become who I am. The only question is who you are. Do you know who you are? And do you know how to again become who you are? Do you know somebody who can tell you this? And are you happy? Do you know the secret to be happy? That's the only question. Be or not to be? That's the question. Because if you know this question, the one who got a purpose in the life is happy and he wanna be. The one who doesn't have it, it's just some kind of a fragment of the sand which is randomly, uncontrollably floating through the space, not controlling nothing. You become powerless, diseased, depressed. Or you depress your depression, you gain your power back, you remove the disease, and you get back your power. The choice is yours, obviously.